Dear students, after dealing with labels, approaches and designing of curriculum planning, we will discuss about process of curriculum designing. Curriculum development is a specialized task which requires systematic thinking about the objectives to be achieved, learning experience to be provided, and evaluation of changes brought out by the curricular activities and so on. We need to follow the order in which decisions related to curriculum development are made, and we have to make sure that all the relevant considerations are taken into account before taking any decision. To arrive at thoughtfully planned and dynamically conceived curriculum, we should follow the steps as follows: assessment of educational needs, formulation of educational objectives, criteria for content selection, organizing the content, selecting learning experiences, evaluating the curriculum, development, try out. Now we will discuss each step. Assessment of educational needs. While selecting any knowledge to become a part of curriculum, need assessment is to be done. The need assessment helps curriculum developers in following ways. Learners fill gap between the present status of the learner and intended one. Help them to remain motivated. Society understand and identify social function of educational program. Subject matter helps in outlining the structure of a subject, including topics to be covered, their order of presentation, and the appropriate grade level for each topic. Formulating educational objectives. Objectives help in selecting learning experiences and in guiding teaching. The form of objectives is as follows: statement of the objectives of the school is a statement of changes to take place in students. Objectives are stated in listing topics, concepts, generalizations, or other elements of content that are to be dealt with in the course or courses. Instructional activities can be planned and developed so as to indicate the kinds of changes in the student to bring. Statements of objectives should be expressed in terms of identification of behavior to be developed in the student and the content of area of life for this behavior. It is useful to plot a two-dimensional graph indicating behavioral and content aspects to express objectives clearly. Criteria for content selection. Content is the stuff of the curriculum. It is the what that is to be taught, the what that students are to learn. Content refers to facts, concepts, principles, theories, and generalizations. Criteria for content selection include availability of the subject matter, the significance of subject matters, appropriate balance of scope and depth, appropriateness of pupils' needs and interest, durability of the subject matter, logical relationship of the subject matter, content to main ideas and basic concepts, learned ability of the subject matter, possibility of the subject matter to interact with or attract data from other subjects, content contributing to development of the society. Organizing the content. Curriculum organization is a systematic arrangement of objectives, learnings, experiences, and materials in a unified and consolidated manner. It is a process of putting contents and learning experience together to form some kind of coherent program. Similarly, in organizing the curriculum, especially in sequencing the contents and learning experiences, it is also essential to identify the organizing principles by which these threads shall be woven together. Some of these organizing principles identified are starting from the simple and proceeding to the complex, the whole to the part, chronological approach, sequence on the basis of concentric circle, and sequence based of prerequisite teaching. Let us now understand them in detail. Sequencing. Establishing a sequence in curriculum means putting the content and materials into some sort of order of succession. For this, certain teaching principles such as moving from known to unknown, from simple to complex, from concrete to abstract, etc., have to be kept in mind. Besides these principles, the resources that facilitate students' learning have to be arranged. Continuity. The curriculum should provide for a progressively more demanding performance, more complex materials to deal with, a greater depth and breadth of ideas to understand, to relate, to apply, and so on. Such cumulative learning can be applied to thinking, attitudes, and skills. The learner should be provided with experiences step by step, leading to the examination of more complex forms of criticism and analysis of ideas. For example, a student of grade 2 may learn the concept of interdependence among family members. She may encounter the same concept in a higher grade but with reference to interdependence of nations, political decisions, etc. The content of curriculum should provide for continuity in learning and prevent loss through forgetting. Disjointed content does not lead the student to the destination, that is, the attainment of the objectives. Integration. It is recognized that learning is more effective when facts and principles from one field can be related to another, especially when applying knowledge. Curriculum planners should attempt to integrate the curriculum by simultaneously establishing relationships between various subjects taught to be target learners. One method can combine related areas into one broad field. For example, combining geography and history into social studies. Correlating two subjects such as maths and science is another attempt to integrate content. It should be clear from the preceding discussion that curriculum organization should protect and preserve both the logic of the subject matter and the psychological sequence of the learning experiences. In the logical organization, the planners organize content accordingly to certain rules to make it more manageable. Selecting learning experiences, evaluating the curriculum and development tryout will be explained in next lecture. Thank you.